moon when you were born, and what does it reveal about you? In this video, we're going over what moon phase you were born under and what it means about your personality. The sun and the moon have a relationship. So if you were born under a full moon or a new moon or anything in between, in this video, we're talking about what that means about you. So during the lunar cycle, the moon starts out dark. That's the new moon. And it grows in light. It increases in light until the full moon, where we see it fully lit, the brightest in the sky. And then at that full moon, it'll start winding down and go back to new again. This cycle is 29.5 days, which is why we see usually a new moon and full moon roughly once a month. That lunar phase that you were born under, there's more than just new and full moon. There's 8 different lunar phases you can be born under. And that lunar phase you were born under is going to say something about your life theme. So we're going to go through what the 8 lunar phases are, and then we're going to go through what each of them means. So the first phase is the new moon. This is when the moon is black, it's dark. They say it's a new beginning, but I think of the new moon more like the pause before the new beginning. It's like the breath you take before you say the next sentence. It's the moment you're done reading a chapter of a book and you pause and you take it all in before the next chapter begins. So the new moon, there's no light. The moon is empty. So there's a feeling of pause here. Then we go to the waxing crescent, which is the little sliver of light while the moon is growing in light on its way up. Next, we have the first quarter. The first quarter, also known as the first quarter square, is when the moon is a half moon, but it's on its way increasing in light. Then we have the waxing gibbous. This is when it's a sliver of dark, but the moon is growing. It's on its way up to that full moon. Next is the full moon. The light is fully illuminated in the moon in this phase. Then we have the waning gibbous, and that is when the moon is all but a sliver of dark. It's a sliver of dark. It's mostly lit, and it's on its way back down. Then we have the third quarter square, also called third quarter or last quarter. It's when the moon is half moon and it's going back down. Next, we have the waning crescent. That is the sliver of light, but it's as the moon is on its way back down to new. And then that is the end of the cycle where the moon goes back to new and the cycle begins again. Here's how you can find your lunar phase. There's 2 ways. The easiest way first, Google it. You can Google the date of birth plus lunar phase. And then Google will tell you what lunar phase you were born on. You can also go to astrocharts.com, astro-charts, and go to their natal chart, enter your birth info, and scroll down to special features. It will list your moon phase there as well. Now on to the fun stuff. What does it mean? If you were born on the new moon, you have a life theme of discovery, and it's all about acting instinctually, really being in the present moment and trusting your gut. This moon phase is all about trusting your gut. It's all about just acting in the moment and kind of discovering who you are in a way and seeing the person that you are in the moment be reflected back to you through others. If you were born on the waxing crescent, this life theme is all about breaking away. So there's something with your family of origin or something like that it's about breaking away from that and learning how to separate yourself, learning what makes you unique, learning your own, like what you're made of, who you are, and feeling a need usually to make something of yourself by sort of identifying yourself through what it is about your family of origin or where you were born that you don't connect to, and finding who you are and what you're made of in the world, and just breaking away from some kind of tradition or normal way of doing things. If you were born during the first quarter, that's going to be a life theme of forging ahead, a life theme of pushing through challenges, meeting crisis, and being able to step up to crisis and have courage. There's also some themes in life about expansion and growth and becoming more and learning how to have a wider viewpoint and expanding your mind. If you were born during the waxing gibbous phase, it's about stepping up to responsibility. It's about not just stepping up to responsibility or being given a lot of responsibility, but kind of figuring out why, what is worth stepping up for, what is worth sacrificing for, what is worth being loyal for, and why you do what you do. There's a very, very important need for this moon phase to know why you do what you do. If you were born under the full moon, there's a life theme of considering others. There really is a huge theme in your life. It can feel like a seesaw between yourself and other people, and that going back and forth, diving into yourself and diving into what other people need. These can be within a day, within a week, or within years of your life, where you dive into one and then dive into the other. And it might feel like your life is like if you're driving the car of your life down the road of your life, there's times you're in the front seat driving and there's times you're in the back seat. So life is about balancing your needs against the other people and finding a middle ground. And there's also a need to find something greater than yourself, and probably a desire to find that within a relationship. If you were born on a waning gibbous moon, your life theme is about sharing information, disseminating information, informing people, putting something out there and broadcasting it. Now, for some people, this might show up in your work, where you do work that informs people and puts information out there and gets the word out and spreads the word. But it could also be that you just have that role, like in your family, of the one who informs people and shares about others. Either way, you need to have a cause, or you tend to feel lost with this moon. If you have a third quarter or last quarter moon, then your life theme is about breaking free into the self. It's about finding out what's unique about you and learning to love that about yourself, learning to embrace that part of yourself, and really owning it. There's going to be a status quo for you to break away from if you have a third quarter square. Yeah, and so this one is about not just being different, but being able to own your uniqueness and step into it in a way that is good, in a way that doesn't always have to separate you from other people. So learning to be unique while breaking free from what you need to break free from, and then also letting it be okay when you do connect with people as well. If you are born under the waning crescent or balsamic moon, this means there is a life theme of transformation. You might feel like you're always changing, but your life theme is going to be about creating a legacy and what you're leaving behind. You're going to care about the future. You're going to probably be more oriented toward the future. That's one of the features of this moon phase is caring about the next thing. It's like you're born at the end of the cycle. There's an awareness that this current time is finite, and there's something more beyond this. So that's really natural for this moon phase. And you can also be ahead of your time. Sometimes you're ahead of the crowd. Sometimes you're on the leading edge, and life can require you to adjust more than the average person. There's a lot of other placements that can tell you more about your moon, but one of my favorites is the house of the moon. In astrology, the planet is what, the sign is how, and the house is where. The house of your moon is going to tell you what area of life you care about the most. It's going to tell you what area of life in your life waxes and wanes. And it's also going to tell you what you hold dearest to your heart and what really matters to you. So if you want to know what the house of your moon means, you can watch this video for more.